Greetings, kids and nerds, monkeys, universe, and white and nerdy. And I think it's about due time I talk about something very nostalgic and a classic in the realms of everyone here that probably is associated with this channel. That, in fact, which I'm surprised more people didn't pick this over Power Rangers Mystic Force or even Batman 66, but it's all due preference to people. But we are finally going to be talking about Batman, the animated series. This is something that a lot of people have wanted me to talk about. And then for my last video of this month, we're going to go into something even more nostalgic and something that I haven't seen but did review on this channel. So, no spoilers there. But I love Batman the Animated Series. I am a big fan of the series, and for the longest time, aside from the top 10 that I have done, for the longest time I really wanted to talk about this series and basically what it meant to me and how it basically redefined Batman, because during this time we only had the Adam West series, and if you know anything about the Adam West series with Batman, they kind of didn't treat Batman the way that he was supposed to be treated. Yeah. The less said about that, the better. Even though I love Adam West, the less that's said about that, the better. We're going to be talking about the critically acclaimed Batman the Animated Series, and basically, I'm not just going to just review it and what happened during the series, which pretty much is pretty self-explanatory, but I'll still do it in the video anyways. We're going to talk about the phenomenal voice cast, and then I'm going to talk about what it meant to me, just in a total of amazing storytelling, and also how it made me quite the big Batman fan that I am to this day. So, I'm mostly going to be behind the camera for this one, and I'm pretty sure everybody is just waiting for me to get into that series. But let's dive in here and talk about the phenomenal series. So let's grab our Batarang, get into Batmobile, and start taking down criminal after criminal. Let's talk about Batman, the animated series. The plot is very obvious for this kind of series. It's all about Batman trying to take down the criminals that he creates in the town of Gotham, while becoming the Gotham City Dark Knight Detective. While there's not much of a plot with the series in the total, this still does have some phenomenal episodes, and episode by episode, each episode either gets better or worse than the next. But for the short time that the series was created, it really did have a big cast that's going for it, and it did have a lot of fans that still love the series to this very day. As if it wasn't for this small series to redefine Batman and re-bring Batman and also his rogue gallery into the limelight, we probably wouldn't have as much Batman material as we do nowadays. But who do we thank for all this stardom? Well, I could think of nobody better than the stellar voice cast that decided to work on this series and the ones that they were available to work on the series forever. We're going to start off strong with Batman, voiced iconically by the immortal Kevin Conroy. As Kevin is the perfect line in between Batman and Bruce Wayne. He knows how to throw his voice just in the right position to have it not sound the same even though it's the same character.
Obviously, but as she's the only suspect, the police must hold her, giving a real thief time to escape. I can't let that happen. Expected to do. He's a friend. More than a friend. Jim Gordon's the same age my father would have been if he hadn't. Now he's hanging by.
Then what is Batman without Alfred, as Alfred is voiced by Ephraim Zimbalist Jr., who does a pretty good rendition of the Alfred Pennyworth immortal character.
Penny. Scent. Red scent. Copper. It's made of copper. And copper is another word for policeman.
Then there is the beloved and also honorable Adrienne Barbeau, who voices Catwoman, and while she's not my favorite Catwoman, she does actually capture my favorite Catwoman and the Catwoman voice that I will forever and always hear.
I searched everywhere. I'm so sorry, Selina.
Temperatures
have reached record lows. What do you think you're doing? Catching strays. What's it to you? And you're obviously not the animal shelter. So what do you want with these cats?
Then at the end of the spectrum is my favorite Joker, voiced by Mark Hamill, as I swear to God that Mark is the best choice to bring to life to such an immortal villain for Batman. Even though Mark has retired from the character since the unfortunate incident with Kevin Conroy, but Mark will forever and always will be my favorite Joker.
On second thought, I love a roller coaster.
But speaking of Mark and Kevin, somehow Mark and Kevin were able to give the Joker and Batman their classic relationship that they have in the comics onto the big screen, which is amazing. Their chemistry is in fact so damn good that it is echoed throughout movies, other cartoons, and especially video games, in particular Batman Arkham City and Batman Arkham Asylum and even Batman Arkham Knight, and that's just to show you that how immortal that these two has become in pop culture popularity. Because without this series, Kevin Conroy would have never became the living legend that we all know and love him to be. And while he is unfortunately no longer with us, his legacy will forever and always live on in one of many Batman fans all around the world. Unlike other cartoons that came out around the same time, Batman the Animated Series was more than a Saturday morning cartoon. It was a character study of the people around Gotham. You don't only get to see your favorite crime fighter and superhero up there on the big screen, but you get to see even more than that, as Batman gets to also become much more apparent and much more well-rounded. And when I say that this was a very self-centered piece and a very character-driven show, I sincerely mean that, as every single character is more important to the plot than you will realize. As the series decided to really hit home on the villains of the series, the rogue gallery of Batman, and redefine every single villain of Batman. As it was incredibly awesome to see the villains of Batman end up getting their own self-centered pieces, and even though they're the villains and that Batman's the hero, it makes it all the more memorable. As that while indeed this is a Batman-centered series and that Batman is the main hero, you can't help but focus on the villains that this series helped reorganize and help retell. For a popular example, the episode Heart of Ice is very much a rendition and a retelling of the origin of Mr. Freeze, making him more sympathetic. That this episode was so well written and so well directed that it ended up winning a Grammy for Best Written Saturday Morning Cartoon Series. But what made Batman the Animated Series so unique was the fact that it was very different than the usual Saturday morning cartoon lineup. I mean, think about it. This was coming out basically around the same time as Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Sailor Moon, or even Yu Yu Hakusho, or even, like Pokemon or Yu-Gi-Oh! We weren't used to this. It was basically a drama that was for kids. And in fact, there are several episodes that had to be rewritten because Fox Kids was very against Batman the Animated Series. For example, the episode Heart of Steel was basically an episode that premiered late at night, only because it was supposed to be more violent than it was supposed to, as Bruce Timm, Paul Dini, and the rest of the workers on that series had to rewrite around and rearrange things. In fact, this series had to have a lot more characters that were in it. And yes, that this is the series that gave birth to the wonderful and magical, fantastical Harley Quinn. That without Arlene Sorkin, Paul Dini, and Bruce Timm, Harley Quinn would not come to life. I've talked about my top 10 favorite episodes. I will pin it in the comments down below for anybody that is interested in seeing what episode made that list. But above all, it was basically a drama, but for kids. It took this really weird kind of superhero and redefined him. It did what Dennis O'Neil and it did what Dennis O'Neil and Neil Adams had done for Batman, reinvent him for the comics and bring him to the big main screen once again. And it has and as I said, it does have a pretty good voice cast, especially more so that I haven't even talked about or even mentioned, like Richard Bull, Paul Williams, John something. I forget the Riddler, John Glover, and it just has a phenomenal cast in it altogether, and such of there's so many good written stories. And the animation was pretty damn decent all the way through, I feel. But there are some fans who don't feel the same. So, really quick, and I will touch upon this more when I review Superman the Animated Series. I might have to buy a Superman shirt for reviewing Superman the Animated Series. But let's talk really quick about why the animation changed for Batman the Animated Series. Why it went from an animation that looked like this.
Some madman is blowing up Gotham piece by piece. Somehow it's connected to the Grey Ghost. To you. What are you talking about? I'm just...
As most Batman the Animated Series fans will complain, I won't, that the animation was beautiful and already didn't need to be messed with. And then somebody at either Fox Kids or whatever decided the animation needs to be messed with. So it went from animation that looks like that into animation that looks like this.
Now you tell me.
Because of the success of Superman the Animated Series, this director at the time, Bruce Timm, decided, what if I were to give Batman the Animated Series the same animation style? As from that point on, the animation style for Batman and Superman the Animated Series would be the same, so much so that the two would share a similar comic universe. Now I know what you're all thinking. Did the animation quality that change bother me? And honestly, no, I like the animation change personally. Now I can know that a lot of people probably don't like the animation quality, and that's fine, you're entitled to your own opinion, but frankly, I really did like the animation change. There is a reason why this Batman is my favorite, and honestly, it's because of the animated series that really brought this Batman into the limelight for me and made him my favorite. Now I get it, there's a lot of people that don't like the animation change, and that's fine, but personally, I really do like it, and I really think that it works well for the series, especially the red color of the sky. It's kind of funny how still nowadays, if you want to anger somebody, you just show them basically what is known as the New Adventures of Batman, and they get undeniably fucking pissed off, and then they just go to war with people like, no, the first season, or the first two seasons, were amazing. The New Adventures of Batman doesn't count. Screw you. It's like, Disney can change animation in any of their films, and people will go, that is amazing. But if someone does it to a beloved property, somebody goes, it is now shit, and I want no part of that. So I didn't mind the animation change. I know that a lot of people are probably watching this going, blasphemy. I know. Shame on me. But I really didn't mind the animation change. In fact, the New Adventures of Batman is my personal favorite of the Batman the Animated Series story arc in a total. But what does this series mean to me? What did it mean to little Lazy Universe back when he was 5 years old discovering this series for the first time? What did this mean? This series is by far one of the greatest and best series that you can have out there. Best directed, best animated, and really all the way around, best series in general. But this was a series that really made me look up to Batman. Now keep in mind, I did see the original Batman movie, but it didn't make me a fan of Batman by that point. In fact, if it wasn't for this series, probably I would have never heard of Batman, and that is a shame because Batman is by far a great superhero. So this series represents why I'm so white and nerdy, is that this series really brought me to the comic book universe. This was the series that made me a Batman fan, and I don't know where I'd be without it, because this series had made me a lover of comic books. I would never know who Mark Hamill or Kevin Conroy was if it wasn't for this series. This series was the thing that made me a fan of all those voice actors. And without Batman, I don't think I'd be as big as a comic book fan as I am, because without Batman, I never would be as big as a fan of Spider-Man as I am to this day. And to think, none of this would have been possible without this little animated series to make me as big as a nerd as I am still to this day, 29 years later. And as old as it is still iconic even still to this very day. I will always and forever love Batman the Animated Series for the fan it turned me into.
You are not my father. I am not the disgrace. I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
Guys, as always, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me at Twitter with a link in the description down below. And also, be sure to let me know which series is your favorite. Do you just prefer Batman the Animated Series, The Adventures of Batman and Robin, or do you prefer the New Adventures? Let me know in the comments down below. And aside from Batman, who is your favorite Batman character? Or, if you're willing to, be sure to tell me who your favorite Batman villain is. Mine, it should be obvious. It's Mark Hamill as the Joker. Just watch his amazing performances and you'll know the reason why. But the series did not only, enter the success of Superman the Animated Series, we'll talk about that in due time, it also had a kind of successful but also kind of underrated series that not too many people talk about this series, which is Batman Beyond, which we'll talk about maybe next month. And about the success that was behind it and what ended up becoming my favorite Batman of all time. Yes, while I do love Bruce Wayne, Terry McGinnis is my all-time favorite Batman, but that is another discussion for another day. And in case if you want to see my top 10 list, I will pin it in the comments down below so you guys can go and watch it at any given time that you please. So thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you for taking me a trip down memory lane with me. And if Batman the Animated Series made you a fan of Batman, let me know by liking on this video, subscribing to the channel if you are not already, or if you haven't already, and click that bell icon to be notified every single time that I make an upload. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and if you want to see me review both Batman Beyond and Superman the Animated Series, let me know by liking this video, commenting on it, anything, any small little thing helps. If you guys want me to review, Batman Beyond, here's my deal. If this video gets to 15 likes, I will review Superman the Animated Series. If this video first. But if this video gets to 30 likes, which I'm very doubtful, but I'm just going to say this ahead of time. If this video gets to 30 likes, then I will review Batman Beyond in March, and then in, what comes after March? April? And then in April, I will review Superman the Animated Series. So, let's just see how this video does it as well. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and tell me what your favorite memories are of watching Batman the Animated Series. Was watching Batman the Animated Series with your father is what made you a Batman fan, and your dad is as big as a fan of Batman? I know I kind of butchered that line, but if you know where that line is from, then you're awesome. So thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me at Twitter with a link in the description down below. Everyone Universe, everyone Nerdy. Thank you for joining me on this childhood trip. And until next time, guys, take care and beware tonight, because I am Batman.